Hello everyone. So today let's discuss the next type of permanent tissue, that is the third type of permanent tissue, which is called sclerenchyma tissue. This sclerenchyma tissue is also known as fiber. It was first of all coined by Metenius. Okay, and this particular cells or tissue, it is made of highly thick walled dead cells. Okay, as we have got the parenchyma, collenchyma, these are consisting of living cells, but the sclerenchyma tissue, they are made up of dead cells. Now basically these particular cells, they provide mechanical strength, support and protection. Okay, their thickenings is of lignin, cellulose. Okay, so these particular things, they help in the thickening of the particular type of tissues. Now, the cells possess simple branched straight and oblique pits. That means small pores are present, as you can see. So these pits are present in the cell, which will definitely help them to transfer substances. The young cells, they possess protoplasm, but later it degenerates, because we know that protoplasm is the living part, isn't it? So if protoplasm is present, then we cannot consider these tissues to be dead cells or the cells to be dead. So initially though they may be present, but later what happened, they degenerates. Now this particular sclerenchyma tissue, it consists of two parts. One is called the fiber and other is called the sclerids. Okay, so first let's discuss what is actually fiber. These are long, narrow, spindle-shaped sclerenchyma cells whose cell endings are tapering. So if these are cells, so you can see their endings are tapering, isn't it? In hard fibers, the thickening is normally made up of lignin. And in soft fibers, they are normally flexible, elastic. Okay, but the hard ones, they have a stiff structure. Now they are normally found inside xylem, phloem and around the vascular bundles also. Also in pericycle, hypodermis, petioles and leaves. They are suited to bear forces of compression, pull, bending and shearing. That means already we are mentioning that they have elastic property, isn't it? That means so flexibility, so definitely they can resist to some part of stresses. Okay, now they are again divided into two groups. One is called the xylary and other is known as the extraxylary. Xylary fiber that occurs in xylem, and it is of three types: fiber tracheids, libriform tracheids, mucilage or gelatinous fibers. Okay, but some fibers, they may show occasional septations. Okay, that means walls may be formed, and which is observed in case of bamboo plant. So the diagram, only from the diagram you can clearly observe that they are long cells with tapering ends. Okay, which have a lumen in the central portion and pits are present. The next type of sclerenchyma is the sclerids. These are excessively thick walls, short isodiametric, polyhedral or cylindrical sclerenchyma cells, which may either occur singly or in groups. Okay, now these particular structures, they provide stiffness and protection to various parts of the plant. It was first of all coined by Chirk. Okay, or you may call it as Chirk also. Okay, here T is silent, so normally we call it as Chirk in the year 1889. Now here the ends are blunt. So as you can see, if these are the cells, so here ends are blunt. Pits and simple pits. Pits are simple, they may be deep, unbranched or branched. They normally are present or observed in case of apple, pear. Okay, they are rich in sclerids. The stony endocarp of root, that is mango, there also we can see this type of structures. Now they are again subdivided into different types. So first type is the brachysclerid or the stone cells. They are short isodiametric sclerids with branched pits. Okay, so here the pits are branched, as you can see in the diagram itself. These are the branched rings. They occur in the bark, cortex, phloem and grit of some fruit. Okay, like apple and pear. Then second one is the macrosclerids. This one. It is rod-like elongated. It forms a continuous layer with the testa of legume seeds. Okay, so this is called the macrosclerids or rod cells. Then the third one is the osteosclerids. This is somewhat like that of the bone, isn't it? This is long and the ends are broad or blunt, swollen ends. Then next is the asterosclerids. Asterosclerids, it is like the star-shaped structure. Here, it may be branched or lobed. Okay, it is observed in the leaves of nymphea. Then filiform sclerids. This one. This is fiber-like elongated sclerid which possess occasional branches. And last one is the trichosclerids, where it branches only one and it is hair-like elongated part. Okay, it is present in the intercellular spaces. So these are the different types of sclerids, that is of under the sclerenchyma tissue. Now these particular sclerenchyma tissue, they provide mechanical strength. They also prevent the collapsing of soft parts of the organ under conditions of temporary wilting. Okay, then they provide the elastic stretching and compression. Plus, they are commercially obtained from a number of plants like flax, jute, and they are used for commercial purposes, isn't it? So, these are all about our sclerenchyma tissue. That is the simple permanent tissue. Now, next we come to the complex permanent tissue. So when we are talking about complex permanent tissue, so definitely these are heterogeneous tissue. That means the particular tissue will consist of more than 2 types of mature cells. Okay. Now basically the complex tissue consists of 2 parts, the xylem and the phloem. Now xylem tissue, we know that these particular complex tissues are basically meant for conduction of water and minerals, isn't it? In addition to that, they provide mechanical strength to the plant. It was first of all coined by Nageli, and they consist of 4 types of elements. First is the tracheids. Okay, so as you can see, these are tracheids. That means they are elongated dead cells. They have lignified walls. A wide lumen is present in between, which take part in water conduction. It was first of all coined by Senio. Their end walls are tapering, isn't it? You can see in the diagram itself. And the cell walls are moderately thick and lignified. They possess some secondary thickenings like annular ring-like structures. Okay, as you can see, these are ring-like structures. These are annual thickenings. Sometimes they may be spirally arranged, then spiral thickening, or they may form scalariform thickenings. That means they may form transverse plate, a leather-like structure. Okay. Then next, they may form reticulate thickenings, network-like structure they may form. Okay. So this is the reticulate type, or else they may have pitted type. That means pits may be present, which may be either simple or bordered pits. Now, the unthickened regions of the particular cells, they are basically meant for water conduction. That means those particular areas where pits are present, these are unthickened areas. So these particular areas are permeable to water. Okay, therefore they help in conduction of water in the non-flowering plants also. Acha. So next is our vessels. Okay, so after tracheids, the second element is vessel. So vessels, these are also elongated water conducting channels which are formed end to end. That means they will be joined end to end so that they form a long pipe-like structures. And these pipes help in water conduction from the roots to the leaves. Okay, so they are normally longer than the tracheids. They are formed of a large number of cells and hence they are also called syncytids. Okay, they are close to both ends. Both the ends will be closed and these end plates will have some perforations. Sometimes what happens, the whole end plate breaks and it forms a simple pore. That it is known as simple perforation, or the plate may have multiple pores, then it is known as multiple perforations. And due to this end plate degeneration, and as they are connected end to end longitudinally, so the water and minerals, they are transported uninterruptedly to long distances. Okay, now they are more efficient than the tracheids and also they provide mechanical support to the plant body. Okay, so you can see the diagram of the vessels. These are perforations which are present, which will help them in conduction, and they are always present end to end. That means like a pipe. Okay, so that pipe will connect the roots to the particular other tissues of the plant. Next we come to the third element, that is the xylem fibers. Now these are actually sclerenchyma cells, okay, which will help in providing mechanical support. Okay, they also thin quantity, it makes the wood hard and soft. Okay, and their lumen is present which is narrower and have oblique pits also. They are longer than the tracheids. Okay. Then the last element is the xylem parenchyma. These are parenchyma cells which are present in xylem. They are made of unlignified cells. They store food and tannins and crystals. Already we know parenchyma cells, they are basically meant for storage of food and water, isn't it? So xylem parenchyma, it will also store food and water. Okay. Then the secondary xylems. Here the parenchyma is of two types, axial arranged longitudinally and radial arranged horizontally. So these are the four different elements of the xylem. Now, according to the formation of xylem, which xylem is formed earlier, which is formed later, so based on that we can again divide the xylem into two parts. Protoxylem, which is formed first, this is also the primitive type. It has primitive type of thickenings like annual, spiral and scalariform. Okay, here the cells are smaller and narrower, so this is called the protoxylem. Metaxylem, here cells are larger and they are formed after protoxylem. Now based on the position of xylem and phloem in the xylem part, protoxylem and metaxylem, in xylem, it can be again subdivided into four types. So first is the exarch type. In exarch type, the protoxylem lies towards the outer part and metaxylems is large cells. These are metaxylem, they are lying towards the inner part. Okay, protoxylem outside, metaxylem inside, that is exarch. If protoxylem is inside, metaxylem is towards the outer side, that means it is endarch. Okay. Again, if the protoxylem is at the center and both the outer and inner side consist of metaxylem, then this is known as mesarch. And if center is occupied by protoxylem and metaxylem is distributed throughout, okay, then it is known as centrarch. So based on the position of protoxylem and metaxylem, four different types of xylems: exarch, endarch, mesarch and centrarch. Okay, so xylem tissue, their main function is to conduct water, okay, from the roots to the upper parts of the plant, that is leaves and other parts. So water absorption and water conduction and mineral conductions plus providing mechanical support, all these are the important functions of our xylem tissue, the complex permanent tissue. Okay, so hope this video is clear to you. Go through it properly. If you have any problem, let me know.